Tonight we are gathered together to recognize the arrival of another milestone in the lives of 39 young men and women, the senior class of Walla Walla Valley Academy. 12 years of study, hard work, and study have finally bore fruition. They are moving into graduation weekend. I'm sure along the way they have had many good hours and good times that they'll remember, but this nevertheless is a milestone for them, and they should be congratulated for that. I've often told my daughter that she should remember these times and think fondly of them, that these are some of the best times of her life. And she, with the enthusiasm that only a teenage young adult can muster, tells me that I'm wrong, that these are good days, but the best days are really yet to come. I believe that we're probably both right. High school graduation is a special time, and it is the springboard that will launch them into the next exciting phases of their life. Class night is a special time when we take a few moments to recognize each individual, to spotlight them, to hear just a bit about their future plans. I'm sure that they're happy and excited to have you sharing these moments with them tonight. On behalf of the senior class of Walla Walla Valley Academy, I welcome you to Class Night 1997.
Shall we pray? Father God, we come together to this evening for a joyous occasion, as was said. We thank you so much for WWVA, the graduating class of 1977, the staff, the teachers, Mr. Deming, but most of all, we give you honor and praise for your son, Jesus. At this time, I'd like to uplift each senior to you, that you may create and give them each a desire to seek you and to have a personal daily relationship with you. Father, you have seen many graduating classes, and we look forward to and we pray for the day when we don't have to be segregated anymore into any classes, that we may all be together as one class in your kingdom. Father, we thank you for the junior class, and we hope that they will be just as strong as the seniors have this year. Amen.
Dawn Mary Lynn Dalk is our proud resident Canadian born in Red Deer, Alberta. However, she had to come to America to get a good education. One of her special childhood memories is traveling across the country with her family and fighting with her brother David over her silky blanket. Would you believe her favorite vacation spot is Banff? Strawberry cheesecake is her best dessert. This year she was the editor of our yearbook. Her hobby is finding a fault in every guy that she meets. Would you mind explaining this to us? Maybe another time. College, possibly pre-law, is in her future. Her ultimate goal is to find the unattainable and elusive perfect man. Carl Christopher Douglas Acker was born in Red Deer, Alberta, Canada. His childhood memory is taking long trips with his mother. If these were in a car, this might account for why his funniest memory is driving the frame of a VW through College Place. He had 3.5 flat tires, and he hasn't explained to me about the half flat tire yet. Plus, the ignition switch was a light switch. When asked who might be able to play for a song for the parents, Chris volunteered to play his computer. In his future, Chris plans on college with a career in computer engineering. His friendliness and continual happiness are assets that set him above many.
Renee Sue Logan was born in Indianapolis, Indiana. Renee is known for her driving skills here at the school, or maybe better, for the lack of her driving skills. And by the way, Renee, do you remember that incident on the physical geology trip? I think it had something to do with a giant Cascade slug that Don found and threw over that restroom stall door, and it landed on your leg. I think you could be heard all the way to Mount Rainier. Renee really likes the color yellow. In fact, she likes it so much that she would like to paint everything in the world yellow, which she says would make everybody happy. Her favorite dessert is a cinnamon twist at Taco Bell. You should have seen Renee this year in the public performance class. It was a high point. She played Marmee in Little Women. Excellent job. Success in your future plans. Dwight Howard Summers has attended his education all 12 years in the Valley. When asked if he had an opportunity to do something to make the world a better place, what he would really like to do would to eliminate all cancer and heart disease. I think I'd just take one of those on at a time, Dwight. His favorite class this year was physical geology, and he enjoyed the trip to St. Helens. Dwight enjoys skiing. He also likes playing video games. And yes, he's another one of our seniors who was born right here at Walla Walla. We were really surprised how many of the class were born here. His future, working, going to college. Maybe that'll help you get that favorite car you want, a Corvette.
Sandy Danielle Ireland is now telling her secret. In second grade Christmas pageant, she wet her pants. She hadn't time to go to the bathroom before the program, and while she was up there singing, well, she just couldn't hold it any longer. The next day, the teacher talked to the class and asked the guilty one to confess, but she didn't, until now. Wow. Sandy will always remember the pie eating contest and anything to do with Little Women. I don't think I'll ever forget the way she jumped out of that window during the first part of it. Her future? Sandy plans to live free and happy, like a butterfly. Happy flying, Sandy.
Brian James Newman really enjoyed the senior trip, in spite of getting sick. To make his world a better place, he would start things again and blow up the world. But I don't think that's really what we had in mind when we asked that question, Brian. He was born in Newport, Washington. Brian loves ice hockey, even though the game carries many bruises and hurts. Walla Walla College looms large in his future as he studies to become an engineer, and he will probably be playing on their hockey team. Daniel Evan Pike is a man of few words. You might see his name as editor or director of some of the programs in Blue Mountain TV. He's a whiz in this area. He was born in Walla Walla. His animal, the white tiger. Hobby, Air Force models. Dessert, ice cream. Daniel claims that the senior trip was one of the most enjoyable experiences that he had at school. And I can vouch for that because most of the time he wore a smile that went from one ear to the next.
Michael A. Kelly would like to be remembered as someone who changed into a responsible person like Moses, his favorite Bible character. Mike also was born here in Walla Walla, where most of his early childhood memories took place. He said he remembered one time when he was in the car didn't respond going around a corner because of the ice, but a telephone pole helped everything come to a very radical conclusion in an impact. He assured us, though, that no one was hurt. Mike admires Steven Seagal, and he'd like to vacation in Mexico. His future, at the moment, somewhat undetermined, but he'd like to get a job either as a mechanic or something in agriculture. Justin A. Daniel was born in Walla Walla. He's attended Walla Walla for 3 years, and if you've been lucky enough, you might have seen one of his quiet smiles. He enjoys his friends and driving his blue pickup, and though Justin isn't sure whether it'll be work or college next year, we wish him success and God's blessings.
Kathy Diane Kinniger was born in Montana. Now, Kathy, the whole state of Montana? She remembers that one day in Bible class, Kevin was teasing both her and Maylee. Kathy told him to shut up, while Maylee said, "I am not negative." Suddenly, the whole class became quiet. Everyone had heard their fun squabble. Kathy said, "Poor Kevin, we're so mean." She says she will be remembered for her sense of humor. I've also discovered that she's quite a writer, and she's very, very creative. The class trip rates high on her memory list. Instead of a favorite car, Kathy wants a big, red Ford. She enjoys painting, riding horses, and drawing. If she were to change the world, she would find a cure for cancer. Her future is unsure, but it will include doing something with animals. Serge has the most names in his name of the whole class. Serge, Carl, Hans, Laurendell. His goatee is what people remember about him. Although he was born in Berrien Springs, Michigan, Serge has spent all 12 years of education thus far in our valley. He feels that if he got rid of the singer Prince, the world would be a much, much better place. He wants to become an engineer and be happy, successful, and stuff. Serge, what do you mean by stuff? Good luck in your future.
Miley Rose Hall was born in Walla Walla. Her favorite vacation spot is Hawaii. Training horses is her hobby, while four-wheeling is her recreation. Both of these are combined in her favorite car, the Mustang. Her most enjoyable experience was the senior trip to Victoria. She plans to take cosmetology at Walla Walla Community College. You have only been here 2 years, but we have enjoyed you, Miley. Uriah Boone Redberg recalls playing laser tag one evening in Victoria. He also liked frolicking in the flowers on the class trip. Was that in the tulip fields or at the Butchert Gardens? Uriah would like to be remembered for catering to other people's feelings. He would change the world through the integrity and truthfulness of the politicians. When he was changing after a basketball game one night, some girls from the other school walked in on him. They ran out screaming, with him running after them with his towel. Uriah remembers his dad taking time to play catch with him when he was a child. After college, who knows what he will be doing?
Renee Deanne Corbett has attended WWVA for 2 years. She liked the Walla Walla College days, and some of her very pleasant childhood memories come from when she lived in California. She said she would often get dressed up to the music theater with her grandmother and aunt and cousin and mom. But the best part of the whole thing was during intermission, when she would be able to go out into the lobby and have a big orange soda. Renee is very specific about her favorite food. There's only one in the whole world. It's called a double chocolate chip cookie. Besides reading, Renee enjoys baseball and would like to have a purple Corvette convertible. Her future? College, then an MBA. She'd like to be the owner of her own business and a family, all in that order. Esther Virginia Allen, born in Seal, Alabama, is thought of quite often as a quiet person. But we need to let you know you only need to get to know Esther, and you know she is just the opposite of quiet. I think it was sometime last year she was playing in the gym at volleyball, and somehow, I don't know how she did it, but she struck a mighty blow and smashed the ball into one of the gym lights, breaking it clear up that high in the ceiling. You can still hear her hollering today in the gym. Her favorite Bible story, I wonder if anyone could guess. Yes, it's the story of Esther. If she could change the world, she would like to get rid of pollution, all types of pollution, and get the world back like it once was. Her best childhood experience that she has had is when she met her best friend here, her best friend Julia. She's very specific that in her future plans, she wants to go to college, she would like to get married and have five kids. Good luck, Esther.
Jessica Lee Hudgens recalls an awesome class trip. Was it the whale watch, Butchered Gardens, Mariners game, or maybe just everything? She will be remembered for simply being a sweet girl. She feels that if everyone would treat each other with respect, kindness, the world would be a much better place. Fantastic idea. Jessica loves chocolate oatmeal cookies, and her favorite high school class was World Foods. Her future occupation will be either recreational therapy or a nutrition specialist. She would do well in either area. Diane Nicole Blank is an advocate of world peace. If everyone had her sense of humor, we would be very close to this. She was born in Umatilla, Oregon, and so she enjoyed the senior trip to Victoria. During school time, often we would find her copying material for Mrs. Fleck. She's going to miss your services next year, Diane. She's also going to miss your teasing, your laughing, and her class of interior decorating helped Diane to decide that she would like to become an interior decorator. Cheesecake, cooking, and water skiing are all important to Diane.
Julia Dawn Dunks remembers the Washington, D.C. trip, especially racing to get on the subway every morning and then trying to stay together and not leave anyone behind. She also made friends with everyone and experienced new things. She would change the world by seeing that everyone had a home. She was born in Placerville, California. Her favorite dessert is anything with chocolate. Drawing is her hobby, plus she wants to be remembered by her artistic abilities. Vacations should be spent in Disneyland. Julia would like to work for Disney as one of their cartoon artists. Later she would get married and have 2 kids. Jessica Faith Maston was very embarrassed on a choir trip. The whole choir suddenly forgot the words to a song. Everybody. Her sophomore year choir trip was her most memorable experience. She wants to be remembered for her music, both singing and playing the guitar, plus her laugh. By the way, playing her guitar is her hobby. She wants to major in either music or psychology in college. She would end hate to change the world. She would end hate to change the world. Would you believe that Jessica had blue eyes until she was 5? As a child, she remembers visiting her sister at her apartment in Seattle. Family is very important to her.
Mark William Hall has also attended 12 years of education in this valley. He was born in San Jose, California. There's one thing you get to know about Mark very quickly, and that he is someone that can help you with any computer problem you might have. His knack of understanding about those machines is uncanny, both doing things that are neat and probably things that are sneaky. I think he'd make an awesome hacker. At least this is what he'd like to be remembered for, not the hacker, but that he's really good with computers. Walla Walla College looms large in his future. He would like to have BS degrees in both mechanical and electrical engineering. And with his academic success this year and the awards he's taken, I'm sure that will be possible. Be sure to include your recreation of baseball as you study, Mark. Good luck to you. Tara Marie Cross is not telling the most embarrassing experience she's had in her life. We haven't been able to get that out of her. However, she said one of the funniest things that's happened to her was the Bach double flop in Bellingham. And again, we have no explanation for what that was about. If you know Tara, though, you'll know that she will always be remembered as a Yellowstone girl. She lists geyser gazing as a hobby, and Yellowstone is the best vacation spot. But she also likes any of the things in the outdoors. Mariner baseball is a favorite, which might explain why Alex Rodriguez is her choice of a famous person. And yet with her geyser gazing, she always likes to play the violin, the viola, enjoys the symphony. I don't understand this statement, but Tara said she could change the world if she could just ensure that everyone would have a single frog to themselves. What is that all about, Tara? Good luck to you.
Ryan Scott Batty was born at St. Helens, Oregon. He must like cats because his favorite animal is the Black Panther and his favorite car, the Jaguar. The class trip to Victoria looms high in his memories. In the future, he would like to do more traveling, plus get a good job by going to college. Brian loves basketball, which is his hobby and favorite sport. I wonder if talking and laughing also count as hobbies and sports. He says that he wants to be remembered for good grades. Do you have a specific grade or class, Ryan? Jennifer Jean Luttrell had a fun time planning her wedding for John and worship class. Her hobby? Being with Ben. She figures that she will be remembered as Squeak Nibble in the Christmas play. In fact, her favorite class was public performance. Jennifer was born in Walla Walla and has spent 12 years in the schools here. To create a better world, she would get rid of compulsive liars. Good idea. She spent many, many hours getting your flower list ready that we could hand out tonight. Thank you for your help. She plans on becoming a CPA.
Nicholas Andrew Tomchek wants to be known as an honest, trustworthy person. He is one person who is always dressed with a white shirt and a tie when he comes to school. He plans on electrical engineering at Walla Walla College or business at Harvard. Wow. You can find him singing in the choir or in singers and probably even in the shower, as we hear, but he especially enjoyed the choir tour. Walla Walla is his was his birthplace, and he prefers recreation, playing soccer. Rochelle Marie Grizel was born in Anchorage, Alaska. She wants to be remembered as someone people can talk to and be a good listener. The physical geology trip plus the choir tour were her enjoyable moments. She also enjoyed Mr. Young's series of stories in biology, but did not enjoy helping other people dissect because they were too squeamish. Rachel would take away all the sickness and pain. She plans on taking nursing, specifically a nurse anesthetist in pediatrics. I wonder if her favorite Bible story is Jesus blessing the children, as Jesus nurtured the children with their interest. Those around Rachel will profit from her pastimes of reading, shopping, talking, and walking.
Kevin King has only been with us just this 1 year. But believe it or not, he wants to be remembered for his body. Doesn't that picture up there say it all for that? He enjoyed the fall camping trip. And it seems like this last fall, while he was playing flag ball at the college, one of his more embarrassing moments is during one of the plays, his pants got torn off. I was never sure if that was an offensive or a defensive maneuver to get away. We agree that might have been somewhat embarrassing. One of his favorite childhood memories, though, is when he was scuba diving in Palau. It must have been really cool because he said there were literally hundreds of sharks around. and that really meant a lot to him to be swimming with those big creatures. If he could change the world, like many of the young people in the class this year, he would like to clean it up. He plans on being an airline pilot someday. We're glad you spent this year with us, Kevin. Kara Michelle Jolliffe claims that she will be remembered for her crazy nature and her ability to have fun no matter what is happening. In fact, she said one of her funniest memories was a date with Mr. Vixie, was it? However, I think we'll also remember her more for her singing, and we'll miss those special songs during our chapels and weeks of prayer. In her earlier childhood, she remembers playing slip and slide in the front yard in Texas with her sister. Being on the fan camera 3 times the Mariners game just recently in front of the whole stadium on a senior trip, she said was one of the coolest of all things. This year, however, you should have seen her in Little Women. Her portrayal as Meg, the youngest daughter, was delightful, believable, and I could sit through that part several times again. It was awesome. She plans, believe it or not, on being an English professor at Walla Walla College. Would also like to go back to Germany again. I was looking at her list of favorites, and she said her favorite vehicle was a Humvee. Maybe she'll be the first lady English teacher at Walla Walla College to pull in a bright red Humvee.
Rachel Marie Larson will be remembered for her voice. However, her most embarrassing experience also came with this area. One time she was singing special music for Vespers. When she started singing, the microphone wasn't working, and she had to stop and stand and stand and stand until the problem was fixed. She remembers when her sisters and she would dress up and lip sync to groups like the Monkees. She's very specific about her car. She wants a canary yellow convertible Mustang. To survive, Rachel is going to have to be very, very specific about the spelling of her name. In the annual for 2 years, it's been misspelled, and now tonight, if you look on our class thing, it's misspelled again. The last of it, it's R-A-C-H-A-E-L, folks. To change the world, she would make it so things like money and power meant nothing to people. What a concept. Wherever you see Andrew John Hall, he is in the midst of a group, laughing, talking. I wonder what he finds to talk about. Girls? Sports? What? He claims that he wants to be known for good color coordination, but I'm not sure if this is because he uses it or because he needs to use it. When he recalls academy years, welding and dissecting animals come to mind. Andy was born in Anchorage, Alaska. He enjoys composing music and flying kites. He sees medical school in the future. You better start saving. I hear medical school is very, very expensive.
Jennifer Marie Dietz was born in Walla Walla and has 12 years of education here. She appears quiet when people first meet her, but in reality, she is quite the opposite. She figures that she will be remembered for her ability to talk a mile a minute when she's tired or excited. Jennifer remembers dressing up as a clown, Kara M. Then they took all of their mom's old makeup and went down the street from door to door in their neighborhood trying to sell it. Her outlooks includes Walla Walla College, getting a house in Montana with a friend, becoming a dental hygienist, traveling, and getting married. That's a pretty full future. Gretel Suzanne Rioch laughs, remembering the things that she and Kara have done. Her freshman year, they thought that they were daring to climb up on top of the lockers and watch everyone walk by. She loved convincing Mr. Cook that they were overworked so that they could spend the class time playing taboo, listening to CDs, and having him show off his great singing talent. Learning to knit for public performance was also a lot of fun. Because she has so many interests, her future might be English, social work, psychology. Oh, so many options. No child would be abused, neglected, or unloved if we lived in her world. Actually, she wants Jesus to come today, and then all things would be made right.
Charmin Marshall Bowles would like to be remembered for her awareness of loving of animals, trees, and all of nature. She's also going to be remembered for agility on the basketball court. She says actually she'll only be remembered for fouling out and falling down all the time, but that's not so. She is a very good player. Her enjoyable experiences from her years here at WWVA vary from Costa Rica mission trips to dissecting hearts in biology. And she also said yes, getting on the fan camera at the Mariners game. That was pretty exciting too. Where would you go for the perfect vacation? Why, anywhere in the Caribbean, of course. Marshall, you and I have something in common that you don't know about maybe at this moment. But lemon meringue pie rates at the top of her list of favorite foods. I think that's the best food in the world too. Marshall wants to become an occupational therapist, live in the country, own lots of animals, travel all over the place, and live happily ever after. Happy forever, Marshall. Genevieve Catherine Desmond, known to everyone as Kate, remembers that as a child she used to fall down the stairs a lot. She says maybe that's some of the reasons that she has so many troubled thoughts nowadays. It comes from those early childhood falls. Bowling after senior recognition this year with a lot of her friends was a fantastic experience. I like this remark, a quote from Kate. Why can't we remember each other? Because then we will see and care for each other like we really are. Kate was born in Nichols, New York. If she could, she would like to change all the pain in everybody's eyes that she sees. She relaxes by riding horses and writing poetry. Her future contains becoming a masseuse next year and then training to become a physical therapy assistant. Good luck.
Jeremiah Douglas Craik will always remember the first time he'd ever been sent to the principal's office. Would you believe he also was born in Walla Walla? He remembers wrestling with Dad as a special childhood experience. The senior trip was great. He would like to be remembered for two things: being a friend and his smile. To change the world, Jeremy would make it a sinless place so we could be happy. Like heaven. He plans to be a theology major at Walla Walla College. His hobby is outdoors, and New Zealand is a special vacation spot. We have benefited by your presence here this year, Jeremy. Thanks for being here. Jessica Chloe Craik has only been at Walla Walla Valley Academy for 1 year, although she was born in Walla Walla. We have appreciated her quiet, helping self. Her special memory is of getting soaked in the Zodiacs while looking at whales in Victoria. She was soaked. She must like water, though, because her memory of childhood is playing in a mud pit that Jeremy and she had made. She would like to go to the Scottish Highlands. Anything in nature is her recreation. Jessica wants to marry a millionaire or a poor artist. How did you come to this choice? Jessica has really helped us in her class office. Good luck.
Aaron Robert Vixie's most embarrassing experience was getting caught streaking at the conference office. His special childhood experience was when he was born, at Walla Walla, of course. Aaron, you must have a tremendous memory. Besides having a blast on the ski trip, Aaron claims that he went crazy at the Mariners game on the senior trip. He too was on the fan camera. Are you sure that you want to be remembered for your sexiness? I'm wondering about your future. Let's see. Your recreation is dating beautiful women. You want to save the world by making everyone listen and understand the music of Pearl Jam. You want to be a doctor, and you plan to marry a supermodel. Good luck. Cara Marie Madison remembers when she, Michelle, Gretel, and Jennifer were outside watching their hot air balloon in physics experiment. When the balloon started drifting beyond the boundary, they told Mr. Hintz that they were going to follow it. In reality, they went for a donut run to Rogers Bakery. Cara will be remembered for her enthusiastic personality, her piggy laugh, and her unique and diverse vocabulary. She would make this a perfect world by having everyone love Subway sandwiches. You have to be kidding, Cara. Cara is learning to golf, which she claims is her hobby. She plans to go to Walla Walla College to become an occupational therapist. Her final plan? To marry a guy with lots of money.
Liana Nikolana Bezdetko was born in the Ural Mountains of Russia. She said that trying to find all the answers to the questionnaire that we handed out to the seniors this year was very difficult for her, both from the language standpoint, and she's only been here one semester. I need to talk geology with you, Liana, because the Urals are a very special birthplace for the science of geology from their fossils. From what I've been able to find out, you actually won a trip to come here to the United States. A few weeks ago, she went backpacking, I think, for the first time with John Dell, but it rained the whole time. They find themselves having to sleep sitting back to back in the tent because the tent was all wet inside. Now, these are her own words, but she said she would like to be remembered as a chick with a real cool accent. When Mr. Cook asked Liana what was in her future plans, she said very quickly, "I will go to Oxford." She said she did that just to see what kind of reaction she'd get out of him, and she was pleased with the response. She'd really like to go to Walla Walla College, but that is probably just a dream. Keep dreaming, Liana. That's what makes the world go around. Brian David Hernandez was born in Loma Linda. His most enjoyable experience was when Mr. Norton prepared a feast for the John and Marriage class. He really liked that because he said there was all kinds of fruits and veggies with dip and chips and crackers and apple cider and fresh cinnamon rolls, milk, homemade breads, and much more. Maybe if we fed you more in class, maybe classes would be a lot funner. Is that the case? Somehow, the closing of the men's bathroom here at the Academy, both his sophomore and senior years, ranked very high in his memory book. However, he did appreciate the official reopening of the bathroom this year with freshly repainted walls. Brian will be remembered as someone who was always ready to help, no matter what he already had planned. I think that in choosing your career, he's not sure exactly what he wants to do yet, but Brian likes to play golf. And so, Brian, I'd like to suggest that you stay out there on the golf course, think hard, that career will come, and college will be great for you. And so, parents, moms and dads, grandparents, relatives, family, these are your kids, these are your young people. They're a very special group. It had rained 7 days before we got to Bouchard Gardens on our senior trip this year, and that's what it looked like when we got there. They told us they were amazed. At night, the Parliament building in downtown Victoria. It's been a fun time associating with these young people, their diversity, their enthusiasm, and yes, even their noise. We present to you this evening WWVA's Best, Class 97.
Good evening. We're here to give appreciation for all the teachers. We like to thank them by giving them flowers. Teachers, please stand when your name is called, and the students will give you a flower. Mrs. Jane Ann Bennett, office assistant, thanks for helping us keep track of our school bills and lining up some great banquets. Gretel Rioch and Chris Acker will give you your flowers.
Mrs. Elizabeth Clarge, we'd like to thank you for being such a great cook and sharing your cooking skills with us so that we can all become chefs like you. World Foods is fun. Jessica Hudgens and Julia Dunks will give you your flowers. Mr. Mike Cook is next. We'd like to thank him for being such a cool Bible teacher and helping us beat the girls in Taboo. And the early morning golf was a good memory. Marshall Bowes and Esther Allen will present.
Mrs. Melissa Craig is the secretary. Thank you for being Mr. Deming's other hand and answering all of our questions about school stuff and for all the time you spent playing the piano for choir. Jeremy Craig and Jessica Craig will give you flowers.
Jennifer Luttrell and Gretel Rioch will present flowers to Mr. Deming. Thank you for a great school year and being so involved with everything that we do and to come to cheer for us at all our basketball games. Oh yeah, and you shake it well in hula dancing.
Mr. Eisman is vice principal. Thanks for all the time spent making sure we have enough credits to graduate. We really got to know you better on the class trip, especially when we hung out with you on the bus for 2 hours in Seattle. Giving you your flowers is Leanne and Renee Corbett. Mrs. Tammy Fisk, Learning Center Assistant. You have only been with the school for a few months, but we still want to say thanks. Your smile is much appreciated. Brian Newman and Tara Cross.
Mrs. Bobby Fleck also works in the Learning Center. We haven't gotten to know you very well this year, but we've heard that you spend a lot of time helping the kids. Thank you. Deanna Blank and Sandy Erlin will present your flowers.
Mr. Steve Fuchs is the treasurer. We appreciate your hard work in getting all the bills paid. As Mr. Fuchs would say, show me the money. And giving flowers is Rachel Larson and Mark Hall.
Mr. Ben Gish does strings. Since we don't play strings, we haven't seen much of you this year. However, we have seen the results of your morning class. Thank you for the good music. Tara Cross and Jennifer Luttrell will present your flowers.
Mr. Tom Graham, Industrial Tech. Thanks for being a spiritual leader on campus and setting a good example, and thanks for the good times in welding. And Brian Newman and Nick Tomchek will present your flowers.
Chris Acker and Renee Logan are going to present flowers to Roman Hintz. Thank you for the hours spent making the videos for us to watch in chapel and for the stand-up comedy routine you did at the banquet last year. Don't forget the Mariners are going all the way this year.
Mrs. Pat Johnson, assistant librarian. You spend much of your time keeping the library straight and keeping the students quiet so we can study. Thanks for your time and care. Presenting your flowers is Daniel Pike and Dwight Summers.
Dean Kravig does band. Thank you for being a really good band teacher and not getting upset when we've come in late so many times. Jenny Dietz and Kara Madison will present your flowers. Mr. Moe in the history department, we'd like to thank you for being such a cool teacher and helping us with all of our senior and college planning. Sorry for always disrupting your class after lunch when we sit out in the halls and talk. Oh, we have 3 questions to ask you. Kate Desmond and Kara Jolliffe will present your flowers.
Mrs. Nancy Nelson, business education. Thanks for all the help in computer class. They helped me type this appreciation to the teacher since we did it on a computer, but I don't think I got a very good grade on it. And giving the flowers will be Don Dalk and Jessica Maston.
Gail Norton in Bible. Thank you for really challenging us with your class this year, and sorry about the fourth period people sitting outside and making noise. And by the way, you're the man in Mud Bowl. Jessica Maston and Serge Laurendale will present your flowers. Lloyd Redberg in chemistry and math. Thanks for all the help in class. You're the best football coach ever. But slow down on the football trip so you don't get any more tickets. Thanks for being an ASB sponsor also. Uriah Redberg will present your flower.
Mr. Don Schaefer, languages and math teacher. Gracias for being a real challenging teacher. The backpack trip was fun too. Your regular Grizzly Adams. And giving your flowers to Serge Laurendale and Andy Hall. Mr. Scott Schaefer, sports sensei. Thanks for doing lots of fun stuff this year and for driving us to Canada, which was, by the way, too much driving. But anyway, that trip rocked. Also, thanks for a great 2 years of basketball as a basketball coach. You'll always be my Phil. And giving his flowers is Kathy Kenninger.
Mr. Ken Silver is a custodian. Even if we don't always act like it, we do enjoy the clean school that you keep for us. Thanks to you and your crew. Presenting your flower is Uriah Redberg and Rachel Griselle.
Even though she is not here, we would like to thank Miss Rosemary Walter to know that we appreciate all she does for us in English class. Thanks to her.
Mrs. Cheryl Wren, in development, we'd like to thank you for the Bravo auction and the work you've done in Ski Club. We appreciate it. Thank you. Miley Hall and Aaron Vixie will present your flowers. Just Miley Hall, I guess. He's here.
And I think Brian Hernandez has an award for our 3 class sponsors, Mrs. Virginia Young, Mr. Joe Young, and Jim Eisman.
They put in a lot of work this year to give us a great senior trip and lots of other fun things. Thank you.
sponsors for all the work they've done this year. And it's an awesome year. We had a senior trip, a lot of the work they've been putting into all the activities we've been doing. In behalf of our thanks, we have a couple of certificates to give to Mr. and Mrs. Young. Mr. Eisman, we got him a gift certificate for 3 18-hole rounds of golf.
Every now and then we find a special friend who never lets us down. Understands it all, reaches out each time you fall. You're the best friends that I found. I know you can't stay, but part of you will never ever go away. Your heart will stay. I'll make a wish for you and hope it will come true, that life will just be kind to such a gentle mind. And if you lose your way, think back on yesterday. Remember me this way. Remember me this way. I don't need eyes to see the love you bring to me, no matter where I go. And I know that you'll be there, forevermore a part of me. You're everywhere, I'll always care. I'll make a wish for you and hope it will come true, that life will just be kind to such a gentle mind. And if you lose your way, think back on yesterday. Remember me this way. Remember me this way.
When Jennifer Luttrell first asked me to present the class gift, I did not realize how much I would get involved and how much fun I would have. I would like to thank Mr. Young and Mr. Hentz for helping me decide which company to order from and for answering a multitude of questions I had, and to my dad who helped me write my speech. I have greatly enjoyed the experiences at WWVA and the many opportunities the school offers to make memories. Sometimes the memories are painful, sometimes they are quiet and thoughtful, and sometimes they are bright and colorful. There is one memory that will most likely remain in all of our minds, though, the memory of Mr. Hentz with his video camera at almost all WWVA events. I have memories of Mr. Hentz in strange poses trying to capture just the right picture, catching somebody sleeping with their mouth open or embarrassing somebody just for fun. During the Christmas of 1996, Mr. Hentz's camcorder, tripod, and other video equipment were stolen from his vehicle. This was not only tragic for Mr. and Mrs. Hens, but also for the school because he used his personal video recorder to record school events. We, the class of 1997, have chosen to present Walla Walla Valley Academy with their own camcorder. The camcorder that was chosen is a Canon ES3000. The ES3000 is equipped with 20x optical zoom, optical electronic image stabilizer, Canon optics, flexi zone, autofocus, auto exposure, color viewfinder, 64-zone auto white, and 0 lux, which is the light required to take a picture. We hope that WAVA will make many happy memories with this new camcorder, and I'm sure that Mr. Hens will greatly enjoy helping make those memories. The camera was supposed to arrive this afternoon, but it has not arrived in the mail. But when it does arrive, Mr. Hens, I'm sure, will have fun getting used to it. Thank you.
Well, we finally made it. We survived the past 4 years. We survived the past 4 years and made it to graduation.
But we couldn't have done it without our family and friends, especially our parents. We'd like to show our thanks to these special people by presenting them with flowers.
We'll be reading the names of the graduates which appear on your scrolls. If your name is listed as one of their special people, please stand to receive your flower.
Chris Acker gives his flowers to Virginia Acker and Carl Acker.
Esther Allen gives her flowers to Lourdes and Eddie Allen Sr.
His flowers to Shirley and Robert Bate.
Diane Blank gives her flowers to Warren and Cheryl Blank.
Michelle Bowes gives her parents to Charmin and Rick Bowes.
Renee Corbett gives her flowers to Anne and Arthur Corbett.
Leanna Bestetko gives her flowers to Denise and John McGee.
Jessica and Jeremy Craig give their flowers to Lorraine and James Craig.
Tara Cross gives her flowers to Nancy and Carlton Cross.
Dalk gives her flowers to Valerie and Harvey Dalk.
Justin Daniel gives his flowers to Eileen and Jim Daniel.
Kate Desmond gives her flowers to Kathy and Rick Desmond.
Jennifer Dietz gives her flowers to Cheryl and Gary Dietz.
Julia Dunks gives her flowers to Sharon and Larry Dunks.
Rachel Grizel gives her flowers to Mary Lynn and Richard Grizel.
Andy Hall gives his flowers to Judy and Ray Hall.
Gives her flowers to Laura and Gordon Hall.
Mark Hall gives his flowers to Ruth and Jim Hall.
Brian Hernandez gives his flowers to Luba and David Hernandez.
Jessica Hudgens gives her flowers to Cindy and Chuck Hudgens.
Sandy Erland gives her flowers to Debbie and Greg Erland.
Kara Jolliffe gives her flowers to Glenda and Ron Jolliffe.
Mike Kelly gives his flowers to Charlie Kelly and Bill Kelly.
Kathy Kinniger gives her flowers to Carrie and Melvin Kinniger.
Kevin King gives his flowers to Debbie and Alan King.
Serge Laurendale gives his flowers to Antoinette Laurendale and David Laurendale.
Renee Logan gives her flowers to Veda and Pat Logan.
Jessica Maston gives her flowers to Barbara and James Maston.
Madison gives her flowers to Betty and Gordon Madison.
Brian Newman gives his flower to Julie Newman.
Daniel Pike gives his flowers to Winnie and Dick Pike.
Uriah Redberg gives his flowers to Gail and Lloyd Redberg.
Gretel Rioch gives her flowers to Susan Wood and Doug Rioch.
Summers gives his flowers to Nina and Mark Summers.
Nicholas Tomchek gives his flowers to Renee and Dan Tomchek.
Aaron Vixie gives his flowers to Roxanne and John Vixie.
Jennifer Luttrell gives her flowers to Lorna and Doug Luttrell.
And Rachel Larson gives her flowers to Karen and Ted Larson.
We enjoy the flowers and we enjoyed the music, and we are so proud of you. The end is in sight. You have worked hard. You've done a good job, and we congratulate you as parents for your attainments. You have been a blessing to us from the very first days of your birth. You have been sunshine in our lives. It's been a privilege to see you grow up and mature through the years. We wish to thank you for your independence. We thank you for your honesty, your intelligence. We thank you for your sense of humor, your optimism, for your spirit. We thank you for your smiles, your hard work, your tenacity. We thank you for your beauty and your handsomeness, and we thank you for your commitment to God. As you enter into a new phase of life, please know that our thoughts and our prayers and God's love go with you. Thank you.
Class of 97, parents, friends, it's a privilege on behalf of Walla Walla College to be able to share part of this evening with you. I want to commend you because it's clear to me that you have done a great deal of thinking about your future. And I noticed that many of you mentioned college as a part of that. And I want you to know that I believe that your investment in college will be the most significant that you make. We know today from most recent statistics that the average difference in lifetime income from those who are college graduates as opposed to those who exit after high school into the job market is about $750,000. I would expect with inflation that may increase. I want to be very careful to emphasize that not every job and not every calling requires a college education. But I want you to think seriously about that possibility, and this evening it's my privilege, based on the recommendation of your faculty, to be able to present some of you with some incentives to make that investment a little easier. I'm going to ask the fine administrator of this, my favorite academy program in the North Pacific Union, and I can say that with no degree of reluctance because I hear about this program every day when my wife comes home. I want to ask Principal Deming to step forward, and he is going to assist me with this process. We're going to give away somewhere between $50,000 and $60,000 this evening. So Principal Deming, if you would read the names, seniors, when your name is read, if you would stand, Principal Deming will read the award that we're giving. They will be based on leadership, academic scholarship, and student involvement. And I will make the presentation. Where you stand is probably easier for me to get to you than it is for you to try to get to me.
Chris Acker, 1,500 Entering Freshman Achievement Award. Marshall Bowles, $1,500 Entering Freshman Achievement Award and a $1,000 Leadership Award. Jeremy Crake, $1,250 Leadership Award. Jessica Crake, $2,000 Entering Freshman Achievement Award and a $1,000 Leadership Award. Tara Cross, $2,000 Entering Freshman Achievement Award. Dawn Dalk, $1,250 Leadership Award. Jennifer Dietz, $1,500 Entering Freshman Achievement Award and $750 Leadership Award. Rachel Griselle, $500 Leadership Award and $500 Freshman Service Scholarship. Andy Hall, $500 Leadership Award. Dr. Nelson, I need to confer with you a moment.
This next award is a special one. It's to Mark Hall, and it is a presidential Scholar Award. And it could be worth up to $30,000 depending on other grants and aid and scholarship assistance.
Brian Hernandez, $2,000 Entering Freshman Achievement and $1,250 Leadership Award. Kara Jolliffe, $2,000 Entering Freshman Achievement Award and a $1,000 Leadership Award. Kathy Kenniger, $1,500 Entering Freshman Achievement Award. Kevin King, $1,750 ACT SAT Scholarship Award. Rachel Larson, $2,000 Entering Freshman Achievement Award. Jennifer Luttrell, $1,500 Entering Freshman Achievement Award and a $1,000 Leadership Award. Kara Madison, $1,500 Entering Freshman Achievement Award. Uriah Redberg, $300 Freshman Recognition Award. Gretel Rioch, $2,000 Entering Freshman Achievement Award, $2,500 Leadership Award, and $2,000 Walden Involvement Scholarship. Nicholas Tomchek, $1,250 ACT SAT Scholarship. On behalf of the Academy, I want you to know that we appreciate the support that Walla Walla College gives us. We have a little bit of an edge over our sister academies in this union in that we do lots of things with them that other academies don't have the privilege of, and we enjoy the relationship that we have with Walla Walla College.
This year, out of 39 graduates, we have 7 graduates that are finishing their coursework here, graduating with high honors, which means that they'll be wearing a gold cord. And to get high honors, they have to have a cumulative GPA of 3.75 to 4-point GPA. There are 5 seniors that are graduating with honors. They will have silver cords, and their cumulative GPA for a silver cord needs to be between 3.5 and a 3.74. There are 19 graduates that are finishing as four-year seniors, having completed all 4 years here at Walla Walla Valley Academy. They will be receiving a black cord to wear on their gown. There are 12 graduates that will be receiving an enriched diploma. In order to receive an enriched diploma, they need to have accumulated 260 credits, maintain a 3.25 cumulative GPA, and have between a minimum of 40 and up to 60 credits in the respective enrichment area. As I read off your names, just come on up forward and you will be given your cords and plaque and all this kind of thing. Jessica Craik, graduating with high honors, receiving 2 enriched diplomas in the area of science and in the area of music. Tara Cross, graduating with high honors, receiving an enriched diploma in music. Brian Hernandez, he's the class president. He's receiving high honors cords and receiving 2 enriched diplomas in the area of math, science, and humanities and modern language, and he's also a 4-year senior. Kara Jolliffe, receiving high honors with 2 enriched diplomas in the area of math and humanities and modern language, also a 4-year senior. Mark Hall is graduating this year as a senior class member. He's graduating as a National Merit Finalist, going into college as a National Merit Finalist, receiving high honors with 2 enriched diplomas, one in the area of math, the other in the area of humanities and modern language, and he's also a 4-year senior. Gretel Rioch, graduating with high honors, receiving an enriched diploma in the area of humanities, modern languages, also is a 4-year senior. Rachel Larson, graduating with high honors, receiving an enriched diploma in the area of humanities and modern languages, also a 4-year senior. Chris Acker, graduating with honors, has an enriched diploma that he's earned in the area of math science, and he's also a 4-year senior. Marshall Bowes, graduating with honors as a 4-year senior. Jennifer Dietz is graduating with honors, has an enriched diploma in the area of humanities, modern languages, is also a 4-year senior. Jennifer Luttrell, graduating with honors, has 2 enriched diplomas, one in the area of math, second one in the humanities and modern languages, also a 4-year senior. Kara Madison is graduating with honors, and she is a 4-year senior. Dawn Dalk is graduating with an enriched diploma in the area of music. Rachel Grizel is graduating with an enriched diploma in the area of math science and is also a 4-year senior. Esther Allen is graduating as a 4-year senior. Ryan Batey is graduating as a 4-year senior. Julia Dunks is graduating as a 4-year senior. Andrew Hall is graduating as a four-year senior. Serge LaRondelle is graduating as a four-year senior. Renee Logan is graduating as a four-year senior. Dwight Summers, graduating as a four-year senior. Nicholas Tomchek, graduating as a four-year senior. I have some awards that I want to present this evening also. This first one is a Washington State Honors Award. This is for recognition in maintaining a certain GPA, getting certain percentile on the standardized testing, which would be the ACT, SAT tests, and there are some. Also, they have to take a certain number of academic courses in order to qualify for this one, and have to be involved in school leadership and this kind of thing too. I would like the following students to come forward and receiving this Washington State Honors Award: Gretel Rioch, Jennifer Luttrell, Rachel Larson, Kara Jolliffe, Mark Hall, Tara Cross, Jessica Craik, and I started with you. That's all for this one. Next award is the Washington State Principal Scholars Program, and let me just read what it says on this award. This is an award for academic excellence. This certificate is presented by the Washington Association of Secondary School Principals in recognition for your outstanding academic achievement and merit. We do not necessarily determine who gets this award. We send in several names, and then they kind of eliminate them for us a little bit, and then we kind of end up doing the final picking too. But there are two students that are receiving this award, and I'd like the following two students to please come forward for this. That's Mark Hall and Gretel Rioch. Third presentation is called the President's Education Awards Program. It's part of the federal government's educational program, and I have a letter here that I want to read, and I'll give a copy of this letter to each one of the recipients of this recognition award also. This award is based on a similar program that the Washington State Principal Scholars Program is. They have to have a certain GPA, certain percentage on their standardized testing. They also need to have taken a certain number of academic courses in order to qualify for this, and they need to be quite involved in leadership type programs, not only in the school but in the community and this kind of thing. And so it's kind of a all-round type of award. This letter goes like this: I'm delighted to salute all the winners of the President's Education Awards. As America prepares to enter an exciting new era, unlimited possibilities, we must all reaffirm the importance of learning to our nation's continued success. In entering this honor, you have shown your personal commitment to education excellence. I commend each of you for working hard in school and meeting the highest academic standards. You are setting a shining example for other young people throughout our country. You can take great pride in your achievement and in your school's participation in this program. I am heartened to know that exceptional students like you will help lead us to the next century, and I am confident that you will strive towards even higher goals in the future. Mrs. Clinton joins me in extending congratulations and best wishes for many more years of success, and it's signed Bill Clinton. This is just a copy that I'm giving them, though. I'd like the following students to please come forward. Rachel Grizel, Gretel Rioch, Mark Hall, Rachel Larson, Jessica Craik, Tara Cross, Chris Acker, Jennifer Luttrell, Kara Jolliffe, and Brian Hernandez. I think all these seniors deserve a hand. I think that we as faculty have really been the winners in all this, and working with your young people here this year has been a privilege. Thank you very much.
We have one more award, but before I give that award, I'd like to have you make sure that you come over if you tonight or tomorrow, sometime tomorrow evening or Sunday. The class composite is over here to your right by this organ, and that's the picture, that's the composite that will hang on the wall of this graduating class, and you're encouraged to come and look at it and find your daughter or son or granddaughter or whoever it might be. Come over and take a look at it sometime. Last year, upon the death of Haley Brewski, who was a student at this school, the Brewski family, and that involves a lot of relatives, established the Haley Brewski Award, to be given every year to a graduating senior who had these qualities: rising above challenges, possessing a genuine, caring Christian spirit, showing a determination to give 110%, being helpful and friendly to everyone, having an enthusiasm and love for life. There's a plaque that this will be etched on. That plaque is not done yet, but it will be given to the recipient. In addition, there's a $200 scholarship that goes on the student's account from the Haley Brewski family. And this year's winner is Gretel Rioch.
He is right. He is right when he said there is a time and season for everything. This evening is a time for us to sit in the shade of our experiences and reminisce on what brought us here. Yes, it's okay if you come garbed with the bright green bell bottoms that you got from your parents, or for those of you whose independence runs high and find yourself in a local Goodwill store. Just come. It's okay to come with blue, red, purple, or whatever colored hair. Just come. Come and let the memories that have defined us allow you to catch a glimpse of who we are and what we have been through. These memories are not mere collectibles to be placed on our mental shelves collecting dust. These memories are the pillars from which our purpose in life can draw strength and provide the necessary confidence that will enable us to conquer future challenges. With all the hustle and bustle that comes with graduation, there's hardly any time to relax. In these next few moments, I invite you to hang with me and look back. Our class has many memories of the things that have taken place over the past 4 years. There's the ASB picnic, where we have shared laughs together and rooted one another on during relays and class competitions. Then there's all the creative bestfruits we had at Whitman Mission, at the Gordon's house, and right here on WWVA's back lawn. We've had many an excellent week of prayers. Who could forget Dave Ferguson and his presentation of the gospel through humor? We will cherish the Friday night vespers and WWVA churches on Saturday mornings. Mr. Cook, thank you for making the spiritual moments of song and praise most significant for us. We have had the opportunity to celebrate many things: birthdays, our own car, and for those whose parental ban on dating has been lifted. Many hours have been spent getting ready for banquets and other social activities. We've enjoyed going to Bible conference and spending time with our younger friends at the junior-senior picnic. One of the more memorable things that we have experienced this year is our class trip to Victoria, BC. We remember cramming fourth quarter, trying to get things turned in that we had procrastinated on due to the senioritis which had set in and wouldn't seem to go away. By our being here tonight, who says procrastination doesn't pay off? Above all, I think we as a class will remember this week and the day of graduation the most. So find a pillar and seize the opportunity to build memories these next few days. Find a pillar to lean on. This class has what it takes to survive. It has what it takes to endure. And we have a much greater appreciation for the word long suffering. The students of this class have had the distinct pleasure twice in the past 4 years of taking scenic routes to alternate bathroom facilities. We didn't seem to mind except when we procrastinated, which of course was all the time. We experienced a similar crisis our sophomore year, but this year's was much worse. During this year, the graffiti on the bathroom walls increased considerably, and the administration of this school were disgusted by it. So, the stalls were taken out and only 3 toilets stood in the middle of the room. Quite a humbling experience, I might add. There was usually only 1 roll of toilet paper available for all 3 occupants. Little was said, except for the ever-popular phrase, "Please pass the paper." But this didn't stop the troublemakers. They just kept on writing. So, Mr. Deming decided the right thing to do was to close down the bathroom until we had learned our lesson. It's amazing how quickly we learn when privileges are taken away from us. It was a pain to have to walk down to the gym even just to wash our hands. Then came the historic moment when Mr. Deming announced that the reopening of the bathroom would take place after chapel. To add significance to this, we had a ribbon-cutting ceremony, which perhaps might be a first in history. Inside, we found the walls had been repainted and the stalls replaced. But the best part of all was having a roll to oneself. It's not easy to talk about parents after all I've just said, but then again it is easy because parents are understanding, caring, forgiving, and above all, supportive. There are many parents here tonight, but I sense one commitment: to do whatever it takes to ensure that we get a proper education. There are many parents here, but I sense one hope: the hope that we mature into responsible and contented adults. There are many parents here tonight, but I sense one vision: the vision for Christ to be the Lord of our lives. This evening provides a great opportunity for us to express our gratitude for all you've done. We thank you for the little things that mean so much to us, such as cooking fantastic meals, supporting us in our athletics, washing our clothes, picking us up, dropping us off, and picking us up again. In essence, we're thanking you for your boundless energy, and we're grateful for it. If you like what you're hearing and want to hear the same 4 years from now, keep up the good work. We thank you for being good listeners, and trust me, we've probably talked you to death. We thank you for your patience, for allowing us to grow and stretch under your watchful eyes, although admittedly we often didn't see it that way. You had the ability to focus on the little things in our lives that would have had major consequences if unnoticed. I'm reminded of a story by Colin Powell in the book My American Journey, and I quote, "As the helicopter took off, I hollered over the roar of the engine for all the men to make sure their static lines, which automatically opened their chutes when we jumped, were hooked to the floor cable. In the dark, I could hear hands rummaging along the cable on the floor. The helo leveled off. The wind had whipped up to a point where the jump could be hazardous. I yelled for the men to recheck their hookups one last time. Then, like a fussy old woman, I started checking each line myself, pushing my way through the crowded bodies, running my hand along the cable and up to each man's chute. To my alarm, one hook belonging to a sergeant was loose. I shoved the dangling line in his face, and he gasped. It was a triple failure. He was supposed to check the line, his buddy was supposed to check it, and the jump master was supposed to check it. This man would have stepped out of the helo and dropped like a rock, and he would have had only 4 seconds to pop his reserve chute. The reason for relating this story," end quote, sorry. The reason for relating this story is simply this. We understand that the school, the church, and significant others have us in their best interest, but we want to know that you as parents, as our parents, will always be there to check and recheck our emotional, spiritual, mental, social, and physical safety lines, and we would be grateful for it. Find a pillar to lean on. The class of 1997 has definitely left an impression on several groups. Teachers, you may think that we are procrastinators. No, we are highly intelligent beings who have been given the gift of rearranging time to our advantage. Students of WWVA, you may think that we are non-participants. Wrong again. We are essentially the most social beings who find it necessary to seek moments by ourselves, especially if the activity in mind starts with a W, ends with a K, and has OR in the middle. Parents, you may think that we are stubborn, but in reality we see ourselves as taking advantage of every opportunity to help you increase in patience. It's a positive thing. Everyone else, for those of you who don't fit any of the above categories and think that we have the answers for everything, we do. Find a pillar to lean on. Be grateful, class. Remember that there is a time and season for everything. Be courageous, class. Remember there is a time and season for everything. Be godly, class, for there is a time and season for everything. And when life deals its joys and sorrows, remember, sit in the shade.
The time has finally come for us to say, juniors, we appreciate you. We will long remember the things you've done for our class, the lovely reception you held for us at senior recognition, meeting us with a banner and cookies on our return from senior class trip, and yes, even though we all got sunburns, planning the junior-senior picnic at the river.
Tonight, it is our pleasure as seniors to pass our leadership on to you. Juniors, please stand up.